Hi, this is Jed Hafer at the Love and Logic Institute. I'm here with my friend Dr. Charles Fay.
Hi there, Jed. Hello, subscription people. Oh, we sure are thankful for you. Keep those questions rolling along. And you had a question for me.
Yeah, I've got a good question. It's great for kids to learn to do things for themselves. We teach that. But when do I go too far with that? How much is too much? Are there times that I'm neglecting? I'll tell you the genesis of this question is.
Okay.
Mom used to do her daughter's hair. That was their thing. Mom would get her hair fixed all nice when she was pretty small. Well, daughter learned to do her own hair, which is a wonderful gift, especially because I had a daughter, and when I did her hair, it looked like she'd been in some sort of a windstorm or something.
Oh gosh.
But this daughter got to a place where she was pretty capable of doing herself, and then Mom said, "You know what? That was one of our bonding times, though. I kind of missed that. Was it a mistake to have her do that herself?"
Well, it's never a mistake to raise kids who are capable of handling life on their own. But we also want to back up once we've achieved that and make sure that we're saying things like, I know you don't need my help with this, but sure would be nice to do this together because I really enjoy you.
Oh, I like that. Yeah. I know you don't need my help.
I know you don't need my help, but I really like doing this. And it makes me feel good, so would you humor me? And it is a skill that we can teach our kids, or an awareness that we can teach our kids that sometimes allowing somebody to help you is really the right thing to do because that person is offering because they want to and they need to.
Yeah, and they feel good.
It's a gift we give people and we allow them to help us. And I'm a pretty ornery, self-sufficient, guy, and raised that way, of course, with love and logic. And that can be good and that can be bad. So the downsides of it is that I've had to learn over the years that it's a blessing or a gift to somebody to allow them to help you. And you don't build a lot of friends walking around doing everything for yourself because people think, oh, that guy's got it handled, he's got everything. And so, no, it's from time to time good to say, hey, I need some help with this, even if you don't need it. So we're really talking about a couple things here. First of all, we're talking about it's a beautiful thing to raise kids that are capable. And I think the more skills they have, the more things they're capable of doing on their own or with very little help, the better. That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
But then once you've achieved it, then it's time to back up and teach some more of these finesse skills, right? And also teach the kid that, or let the kid know, I just enjoy this, so can I do it with you?
I like that a lot. Here's one that's helped me kind of on the other side of this is when I know my child or a child I'm working with is perfectly capable, but they get that kind of helpless, whiny, will you help me? And it's just purely to see if they can get me to do it for them. There's not some other underlying need there. That's a pretty good indicator that I could just, I wouldn't necessarily say nice try, but I might think it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, nice.
Right.
And say, I believe you. And then I like something I heard you guys say a long time ago is, as you get started, and if you really need me, I'm around, or something like that. Basically, something that kind of tricks them into starting, and then they usually don't need the help once they get going.
One way to look at this, Jed, and my friends out there, is the difference between situational dependency and chronic dependency. And so if I have a kid that's chronically dependent on me for pretty much everything, for things that they really should be able to do, then I really need to work hard on backing away and giving them as little help as possible, but as much as they need. It's love and logic.
As little as possible, but as much as they need.
Right, that's the consultant parent. See, the consultant parent isn't like this, and it breaks my heart, but some people interpret love and logic this way. They think the consultant parent is kind of like this. Well, good luck, see ya. No.
You're not really there to help at all.
That's called the neglectful parent.
The detached parent.
Yeah.
We're not like that.
No, the consultant parent is there and they're saying, hey, the message is I'm going to be hanging out. I'm going to be spending time with you. I'm going to be just right here available for you to ask questions. And sometimes I might say to you, hey, would you like some ideas on that? And then I'm really going to honor whether you want help or not.
If I say no thank you, you're going to honor that.
Right, I'm going to honor that. But I'm the consultant parent is right there as part of the equations. Yeah, that word stuck with me, equation, because last night I was sitting down with my son Cody, and we were doing algebra.
Oh, were you an algebra consultant last night?
I was, and it was really fun. The first step I had to get over was remembering how to do it myself. And then I remembered that all algebra is about, equations are about, is about balance. I mean, if you do one thing to one side of the equation, you have to do exactly the same thing the other side of the equation. And isn't parenting about balance too? Or we're thinking, as soon as we get really dogmatic or legalistic about one concept or the other,
We need to balance it out on the other side.
Instead of really looking at the kid and asking, what is the real situation here? And sometimes a kid who's really independent just needs a time to be a little dependent and whiny, and they need somebody to say, oh, I love you. Don't we all need a time to be a little dependent and whiny?
Absolutely,
and
I do.
as long as we're not like that all the time. Right?
It means we kind of have to pay attention then as the
yeah,
adults.
it's like paying attention to the algebraic equation, right? And in this situation, Cody, who is my youngest son, very competent in math, very independent. Most of the time he's saying, Dad, don't help me. He's like
Yeah,
that.
if you want to make him mad sometimes, that's a good way to do it, is come up and help him. I got this.
But this time he went to me and he said, I just don't get it. And he was really, really kind of humble, and really kind of needy. And I thought, for him, that's a good sign. That's
really
like one of the
needs it.
skills that he needs to learn. If he was like that all the time, over the top, and there's no balance, see what I'm saying? Balance is so critical. Balance is so important. And so we're always trying to strive for that balance. And and sometimes I reserve the right. See, a parent should never, ever, ever be chronically dependent on their kids for their needs to be met, right? It goes both ways, okay? So if I'm chronically dependent on my kids to meet my needs, that's a problem. That's a big problem. And there's a lot of people that are like that. Is it okay from time to time to just be a little bit situationally dependent?
I'm the one that needs the hug or the time together.
Yeah. Last night, Cody, he's laying in his bed. Now he's 12 and he's 5 foot tall, 5'1", 102. He's a pretty big kid, and so he's laying in his bed. He's taking up most of the bed, and I go upstairs and he goes, "What are you doing? You already tucked me in." I said, "Well, I miss snuggling with you because it was so fun," and I just snuggled with him for a little while, and it was great. And and he was happy with it too. It was a mutual
Good. That's good when it can be a win-win.
Yeah, it's got to be. So, if I couldn't go to bed every night without snuggling with my kid, well, that would be pretty sick, wouldn't it? That would be pretty ill. So we've covered a lot of territory.
So it's balance, but that's helpful, and sort of paying attention situationally. This is not an all or nothing. Do I help my kid? Do I not help my kid? I might pay attention to, is there some special reason this time that she wants help with this thing?
Right. And I think a lot of it comes down to the rules for rescue. They really fit, and we have some rules for rescue, and the basic premise is that sometimes it's really important to rescue kids. Okay, and sometimes it's really important to help a kid who's being dependent or has a situational dependency. And so what is one of the rules for rescue?
Well, I don't want to do it when they're demanding it or expecting it.
Yeah.
I know that.
You have to help me with these equations, or you have to lay down with me before bed,
That's a good time to back off of that one.
Yeah. That means that's moving into chronic dependency and entitlement. Another one we see is that when you have somebody who's really pretty independent and responsible, like 99% of the time, and a lot of your kids are, by the way. I get a lot of feedback from people that are part of this service, and really they have good kids. And with good kids, you could probably rescue quite a bit more. And then, what's another rule for rescue?
Well, I was thinking about I don't want to jump off of this too quick, but the parents who have felt this great relief when we said, yeah, basically responsible kid, and you're thinking, oh no, love and logic, I can't go deliver that forgotten important piece of paper,
Right.
because I'll be ruined. And we say, no, would you do that for a good friend?
Right.
And it was this one time or once in a blue moon.
Right.
Then you're okay. If it's every Tuesday.
You're right.
So I guess my next answer would be is if it's often, if they're needing it regularly, that's probably another indication that that we're overdoing it.
Right. And so I want to free up parents, and I think this is something that it's huge. I want to free up to really love your kids naturally. It's just to respond to the sense you have in your heart about, does this kid really need help? Does this kid need me to back off a little bit? But to be able to trust your gut on that, and most people we've found, now most people are usually pretty accurate. With that. If you are learning that you tend to veer towards being more of a helicopter, then maybe you need to know that and say,
Right.
I'm going to experiment with not, responding as quickly to that tug on the heart.
Yeah, my natural tendency is helicopter, so I got to add a little more over on this side of the
I
equation.
want to veer over into that other lane a little bit. So, or if you're a drill sergeant, and quite frankly, you know that you have a tendency maybe not to be as empathetic, or maybe you need to be more nurturing, then you know that about yourself. And it's I was talking with somebody about blind spots, and we all have them. But when we start to realize what our blind spots are, and those are our tendencies that we're kind of in denial about, when we realize them, what's interesting is like we start to kind of self-correct when we have on our heart that we want to change, as long as we're not, really beating up on ourselves all the time. So
yeah, your heart's in the right place versus that person. Well, I don't have any blind spots.
Yeah. Have you ever been on the highway with people that don't have blind spots? They're scary. You want to stay real far away from them because they don't look when they go to turn and change lanes. So anyway, good question, Jack.
Yeah, that's really helpful. I think that's going to help some of our subscribers make a good decision in the moment. Is this one of those times when the kid's perfectly capable, and it's okay? It's okay to let them do it themselves.
And to enjoy them. They grow up fast. Enjoy them. Yeah. Thanks for watching.